around and they don't need a cup of coffee, or they don't feel like they have to take a little nap. It could be like my husband. He is a member of that club. It's kind of, it is what it is. But he said he got the best night's sleep that he's had in years. He just felt like he was in this deep, deep, deep sleep. It was really hard for him to explain. For me, not so much. It took me a couple weeks. But I'll never not use the patches.
Can you tell us about the other patches besides the X39? What else was it?
Sure. And Karen can send you a screenshot of the summary of all the patches we have, which I think you'll find very interesting.
I'll send it to her right now. Laura, I'll send it to her right now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Karen. So Chris, you'll have this to look at, but it's just it's a summary of all the patches and the technology. So for example, our number one patch before we launched the X39 a couple of years ago, and by the way, that stem cell activation patch has a 20-year patent on it. Okay. Patent office is not in business putting out patents of that magnitude without clinical studies and the proof that it's doing exactly what David Schmidt says it does. So that's one thing that I love about this, is that the studies are there, the double blinds are there, the patents are there, the doctors are there. It's just amazing. But one of the patches that is just phenomenal is the Eon, which is an anti-inflammatory patch. Okay, so inflammation is probably the largest cause to sickness and disease and pain and just about anything that can happen to our bodies. The lead on that would be inflammation. So that's something that we always pair with our X39. So that's a great patch. Then the patch that I spoke of, the glutathione, okay, which is a master antioxidant, detoxifier, boosts the immune system, antiviral, and great for infections. So for me, that's something that everybody should wear on the daily. It's almost like a shield. Lee and I were talking to a girl this morning, and I think it's providing a shield for a lot of people, especially in the arena in which we're living in today. The other one that I think is huge is that energy enhancer that David did for the Navy SEALs. And a lot of people will go, "Oh, Laura, I've got plenty of energy," and I think that's great. I think that's great when anybody says, "Hey, I have plenty of energy." And not only will you just feel better as you wear this patch, but it does several different things. It dumps your lymphatic system, which is huge to a healthy life and longevity. Okay, getting all those toxins out. It also supplies energy to the individual cells, which helps the body heal. Okay. Pain, all pain is a lack of energy in the cells. Okay. And those ladies who are interested, and men, not to leave men out, but the energy enhancer gets its oomph from the fat in the body. So the energy enhancer is burning an extra 300 to 600 calories of fat a day. Now, for me personally, I'm all about fat burning, so that's a little plus there for me and most people. But I think the thing is that outside of people, Chris, using this product, they're also putting it on their pets. Whether it's large animals like horses, who can't tell you whether they're hurting or not. So we see an actual difference the minute we put a patch on a horse. However, we have, many people who have pets and they're their babies, and they're putting their used patches on their collars or maybe in their bed, and they're seeing quite a difference in their pets, whether it's glaucoma or energy or aging, whatever it is, they're seeing a difference there.
Can I just?
I will share a study with you that I think will kind of wrap it all up in somewhat of a pretty little bow. But a couple years ago, David did a study with 15 people, men and women, different ages, and brought them into his lab, drew all their biomarkers and all of that entails blood draw and tests and things of that nature, and sent these people on their way for 6 months, to make a long story short. And at the end of that 6-month period, brought them back in, drew all their biomarkers again, and discovered that 14 out of the 15 people had reversed their cellular age by 8 years. So that's pretty phenomenal in my world. Like, I'm kind of like, sign me up. So with that said, with that incredible reversal, anybody, man or woman, who uses the patch 6 weeks, okay, their heart or cardiovascular system gains 2 years of longevity. That's huge. And there is a clinical study with that. And we also have a testimony from a doctor, Dr. Sanders, that Karen can send you, who had a heart attack when he was 47, and I believe he got 3 stents put in his heart because he has access to all the machines. He's now 65. He'd been on the patch for a year, and when he ran those studies on himself, before he started using his patch, at the age of 65, his heart was still showing the age of a 76-year-old man, 75 or 76-year-old man. He used the X39 for a year. At the end of the year, he did that test again, and his heart is that of a 33-year-old man. So these are just studies that show what the patch is doing and what its capabilities are. So with that said, have I sparked any questions or, things that you're curious about or anything of that nature?
No, thank you. That was great.
Okay. Good. Great. I love that. Does anybody else have any relative questions to what we're talking about here that might help Chris and her husband with anything?
Somebody was on a second ago who wanted to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say that this cute little cat of mine, she, from the day she was born, was called by the vet a chronic snuffler, and she just always had a cold, a chronic infection. She also started losing the hair on the back of her 2 back legs. And so what I did was I'd take my patches off and I'd put them on her bed where she takes her nap. Not only has she, and Jim just mentioned, my husband just mentioned, Lily isn't sneezing like she used to sneeze. And we just don't even want to go there. But all the hair on the back of her legs, completely grown in. It's kind of like, wow. And Jim's hair is starting to get darker. He doesn't believe me, but
really?
Yes, I said, I'm sorry, it's not gray anymore. It's coming in dark.
You married a younger man. That's what
that's what I'm doing by putting the patches on him.
There you go.
So
I love that.
So it's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Phenomenal,
I didn't know that about your cat. That's cool.
Yeah.
Nancy, did you take before pictures?
I think I did, and I'm looking for them because I just have to scroll through all of my photographs. So if I find them, I'll send them to you.
Yeah, take some now too.
Yeah. I have
and then
afters.
some later again.
Yeah, she's doing great. And I did have my sister's dog with me for a week and put them on her bed. And I have to say that she got this little, she's 13 years old, this little twinkle in her eye, and she wanted to go outside all the time, which kind of hindered my day. But she just acted younger. It was pretty neat. So
That's
if it's
awesome.
doing that to our little fuzz, fur balls, imagine what it's doing to us.
Right.
And we all have
You
our
know-
personal, stories too, Chris, of what
Right.
the patch has done for
And,
us.
and you know what, Nancy, you made me think to tell them something, which is this. So, Chris, David Schmidt has a great point of reference for people, which is 1 month of use to every decade of life. So, for example, I'm closer to 60 than I am 50, obviously. So for me, the rule of thumb would be 6 months to total cell regeneration, but depending on what the body's got going on. So for me personally, I'm only 7 months into my surgery, which is great, and I feel amazing. However, I know in there I'm still healing. So I personally don't even feel like I've even gotten what I'm going to see or feel when I can have that total rejuvenation of cell turnover. The minute you start wearing that patch, we are up leveling that cell rejuvenation. We're hitting about 4,000 to 6,000 genes right there in the beginning, and taking old tissue and laying it over. Taking new tissue and overlaying it over old tissue, which in return makes it new again. It's kind of how the body works, right? So I think the thing is that. I don't know how old you are. I don't know what you guys have going on that's you're feeling that needs to be addressed. But I will say to give your body the best avenue. Commit to that time zone of whether it's 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, or whatever. And really let it do its. I'll never not wear them. I wear about 7 patches a day. Okay, I'm in for the long haul. And people ask all of us on here, well, when should I stop using them? And our answer, respectfully and truthfully, is when do you want to start aging again? Because that's your choice. Okay, because you'll stop taking them, and that aging process will slowly start getting on that runaway train again. Because, we're born with an abundant amount of stem cells. By the time we're 30, 35, really not much to speak of. And by the time we're 30, 35, half. And by the time we're 60, we really don't have much to speak of. And I know all of us on here remember the day, and they've all heard me say it a million times, which is, remember looking in the mirror when you're about 35 and you started seeing the crow's feet and you started doing this with your face, and then maybe you didn't recover as quickly from being sick or going out, or the pain came in, or, oh, I hurt the knee, and then all the things start happening. So I can't wait to hear you guys getting started and what you're going to feel.
And can I also share something
Sure.
with you, Chris? Is to be patient, because we are conditioned to, want that quick fix. I started on the patches because I had started getting really severe knee pain, and it took about 3 weeks for that to stop. But in the meantime, my torn rotator cuff, I could not do this without pain, absolutely not, kind of relieved itself, and I was kind of shocked, going, oh wow, I can do a plank in yoga now and it doesn't hurt. And then the ringing in my left ear went away. So it was those two things I was not anticipating, and I just had to be really patient for my stem cells to get to my knee. And now I haven't had any pain since in my right knee. And I had trouble getting up the stairs. And it was kind of shocking because it came on all at once.
Yeah.
Like, can I add to that too as well, Chris? I can testify that Nancy can do a mean plank. We were together at convention and I saw her do planks in the gym. But yeah, sometimes we're looking for that quick fix, and a lot of people after 5 days don't see anything. But trust me, those patches are working in your body in places that you may not even know need to be healed. So I request that you just be as patient as possible, because these are doing something. If you watch the videos on startx39.com, it'll explain to you a little bit more about how these work and how everyone does not see results at the same time and not the same results.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
somebody send that to Chris. Startx39.com.
Yeah, I think Karen sent it. We have.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect. Karen's on it. Perfect. Well, you'll have to keep us posted and come back and share with us, as your experience continues,
Hey, Laura,
Yes.
one thing I want to say that was beneficial to me was the Zooms, because I learned a lot from it. But one thing that I didn't know and I learned on Zoom is that you have to take a lot of water. I thought I was taking a lot. And somebody on a Zoom said, if you get these little red spots, and I did, and I couldn't figure out why. I just thought, what's going on here? And I did. I got one on my face and one on my neck. And that was an indication to me I wasn't drinking enough water while I was using the patches.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Everybody's body's different, and when bodies and everybody feels different things. Some people don't feel anything for a while. Some people start feeling things right away, like I said earlier. And everyone's body will have something different that happens to them if they're going through a big detoxification dump, as I like to say. A lot of times it's just fatigue. It could be a headache. It could be a skin rash. It could be a multitude of things, which is not cause for any type of concern whatsoever. It's that your body is going through a change, a good change. And in order for a good change to take place, we've got to dump the toxins. And so that's where the water comes into play. Excuse me. So the golden rule of thumb would be half your body weight in ounces. So just for easy math, if you weigh 100 pounds, 50 ounces of water a day is your cue. So, and a lot of people don't drink that much water. They drink 6 glasses a day and they think they're in like Flynn. And the truth of the matter is that we really need to look at our weight versus our ounces. And I can tell you, if you do that, over time, the amount of ounces that you need to drink will lessen. Because when you start drinking water and flushing the body out, it's amazing the weight you'll drop, because the majority, well, I think majority is the bad word. There's a large part of the weight that we're carrying around that we don't want is strictly inflammation. Not fat, but inflammation. So yes, great point. Please make sure you drink a lot of water. If you're feeling woozy or tired or something pops up, it's your body is detoxifying. Let it do its thing. Drink plenty of water, get some rest, and you'll be golden. Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Great.
Does
Thank you
anybody
very much.
else? You're very welcome. Does anybody else have any questions?
No.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so Chris, please keep us posted. Karen, please keep us posted. jumping on the 9 o'clock patching podcast tonight, maybe hearing from some other people is always a good thing, and hearing their experience with the patch. So, Chris, I'm sure Karen will get you that information. But other than that, if nobody has any more questions, I will see everybody back here at 3 o'clock. All right, you guys.
Absolutely.
Bye, Chris. Thanks for joining us. Bye, everybody.